We're back for Inside Africa Football, and it's another exciting episode, and I'm really happy to be here. First of all, I saw something that caught my attention during the week. So in South Africa, during the SAFA Confederation meeting, or should I say Congress, was held, officials were fighting. They were actually fighting, boxing each other. Like, you think you were watching UFC. Football administrators fighting. It's chaotic and terrible for African football. I hate to begin with this, but we have to, because at some point you begin to ask, these are the administrators that are setting the rules. What should the players learn from them? It's terrible for the continent. It's terrible that it's South Africa. I mean, everybody that thinks South Africa, that's where the CAF president comes from. South Africa is supposed to be another, big country when it comes to football in Africa, and this is what is happening. Well, we're going to talk about this and more in Inside Africa Football. I'm Rai Alimi. I'm sorry. Dipo is Dipo Musa. Today he's Musa because he's wearing a Kano Pillars jersey, and of course Samson. Samson is
good to be back.
Good to be back.
Good
It's good
to
to
be
have you
back.
back.
Missed the show.
Yeah,
good
we
to
missed
be back.
you too.
Yeah.
I missed you,
doing,
man.
I'm great. I mean, I had a wonderful
bath.
week, except Musa really disturbed the week. No rest, no break.
That's what it
The
is.
only reward for
That's
good,
what
the
it
only reward for
is.
good work is more work. That's what my mother taught me.
More work.
More work.
But I'm still going to look fresh regardless. Shout out to SAFA for giving us a talking point.
What's
Really,
SAFA?
SAFA.
What's
South
SAFA?
African Federation.
Football Association, actually.
Football Association, sorry.
Yeah.
And well, let's talk about that first of all. So the issue of re-election in their federations after a long term, and 3 officials came out to say, "Oh no, it seems as if the term is too much," and then we get monies from CAF from players that play abroad, and it's not your money. It was
The same old,
chaotic.
I think it's the same old gist everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for context, while doing my research, obviously Danny Jordaan is completing his 3rd term, and there seemed to be obviously the typical agreement that after this 3rd term, you let somebody else come, right? And there are 2 factions in this association, which is, I think, again, very typical of politics. There's politics everywhere, we say, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's politics here on the show. You guys are both wearing blue, I'm wearing yellow. She calls you, you answer her, she's your baby, me, your guy. So that's politics, right? It's everywhere.
You don't have to rub it in.
No, I don't.
No,
just for clarity.
I mean,
that's
too
emotional.
petty.
Just
Not
for
only
clarity,
petty,
right?
also very jealous.
But
But it's okay, it's all good.
Jealous too.
But yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
I mean, at the next meeting, Jordan then begins to talk about his faction begins to talk about him going for the 4th term.
Mm.
Now, my assumption is that Jordan's caucus has to be very strong,
Yeah.
which is probably why the other faction had to resort to some level of strong words and a bit of
Security needed to come
yes,
and
right.
yeah.
Now, Jordan has been there for I think 17 years. If I'm not wrong, that would mean that he's been there a couple of years before they hosted the World Cup, right? Which we could almost say is a success, right? If you look at it, even though those stadiums now seem to be, I'm told, left to rot, as it were, right? Which has been Africa's problem, right? We'll talk about that in some other episode, what will happen to Morocco after the World Cup that they are going to host, in 2030. So yeah, I don't know what you think, Oga Samson, but in my opinion, this is what happens, right? Pinnick said, he could have come for a 3rd term.
Yeah.
We know that was not going to happen because obviously there's this unspoken rule where it's like, if you do your own, at least if you do 2 terms, you should let the
Someone
next
else.
guy or the next zone come forward,
And
right?
he's already in his 3rd term.
And Jordan now is going for a 4th term.
Before we got something, I want to also throw that he's also facing fraud and corruption allegations. I mean, you begin to wonder if SAFA can survive this leadership crisis.
Yeah, and Danny Jordaan is a powerful name when it comes to African football. No doubt the organization of the 2010 World Cup was centered around him.
Yeah.
Now, there's a certain name called Gladwin White. I'd followed, I think, when he was going to contest for his 2nd term or thereabout.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a powerful force, with her own group, with Save, South African Football, whatever, who came together. Then they didn't succeed. Right, and she's been in the nick of things in the administration of there are two kind of like administration. There's SAFA, and then there's another football administration body.
I think is it that United for Bafana something?
No, there's another one different from that. Maybe if we get it, we'll mention it. So there's like two layers of administration. Then there's also the CEO of the South African football or something, So there's a power tussle and all of that. And you will expect that this governance issue and all that, there's even added to the corruption thing you mentioned and fraud. He was also fingered at some point for match fixing.
Yeah.
Right? Way back and all that. Yeah. And my worry is that you have Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who is CAF president from South Africa. Yeah. And you are having this come from your own home country. Yeah. What have you done? Yeah. And the back channels where you guys could have talked things out and have that. And again, it's also most surprising, just as Dikpo said, that you have South Africa, well-structured football country, well-funded. I mean, if you talk about infrastructure, they seem to be at the top there and all of that. And then, but again, you're beginning to have all of these play out. And it's not just coming to South Africa alone. I mean, even at the CAF level. Now, there's a report, if you guys remember, that came out in January, just after the African Cup of Nations, where Fawuz, the Moroccan Football Federation president, had a shouting match. And of course, there was a lot of back and forth with our own NFL president, allegedly, even though the Ibrahim Gusau came out to deny that there was nothing like that. I mean, the Moroccan FA, called him all manner of names that were derogatory, as it were, because Gusau, was a bit not comfortable with the refereeing situation, during the African Cup of Nations. So you have all of those things coming out and all. But again, it goes to show that, look, the power play, the tussle, and all of that is because of the money involved, because of the kind of, the juicy thing that comes. That's why they want to say, by the way, even in Ghana, when you begin to look at, what's his name now? What's the Ghana Football Federation Association president? His name is here. He's had some issues. This time are not just boardroom, but again, back and forth, even with some of his executive committee members and all that. Yeah. I don't want to talk too much, but I think it's just unfortunate. Just like Gaten, the minister of sports in South Africa said, Gaten Mackenzie, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And it's disappointing.
Well, I hope the African football gets stronger governance and even term limits, because it seems it's beyond South Africa. It's not just one country, and that damages the credibility of the entire federation. Let's move to Morocco, another powerhouse again, and this time around I think it's still a crisis issue for me when Walid Regragui submitted his resignation to the FA, and it's a big shock for me. Surprising timing. A coach who took Morocco to the World Cup semi-final, reached an AFCON final, and the reason was mental exhaustion. You begin to wonder if it was the aftermath of all of the drama and behind the scenes that happened during the recent AFCON. About stepping down months before a World Cup depot, is that risking stability? I mean, whoever is coming in, who is the winner of the Under-20 World Cup actually, do you think he can be able to, step into the shoes or at least attain the height that he has?
I mean, what I think, and we talked about it in the last episode where I said that I don't have a problem sacking a coach just before a World Cup. Or I don't really seem to be interested in that. I'm interested in who you are appointing. Because at the end of the day, there's two things that a coach usually is going to do: manage the team, and then obviously the tactics, right? Yeah. And obviously in both things, you have the final say. Well, in certain places, right? That's right. So I don't think I have a problem. I think Morocco has employed a system from the national team all the way down, system-wise, in the style of play, the way they've educated their coaches. So I don't think I have a problem. But obviously, when I saw the news, there's that thing at the back of your mind where it does seem like something has happened, because it doesn't just really make any sense. Because for him as a person, I'm thinking this is probably the best, World Cup for me, right? There are issues with players of other nationalities having played so many matches, right? So it does seem like this World Cup is going to be very open for who is either the fittest or who can, navigate it, and who the draw favors. So it does seem weird that they say he's stepping down for that. But I mean, that's where we are in Africa. And I don't think the new coach is going to have a problem just because it's been in the system for many years.
I also think because, while I was at the African Cup of Nations, when you bought a taxi, right, you sit in a restaurant, everybody seemed to have lost hope and confidence in the coach. Ordinary
Oh, really?
Moroccans. Yes, the fans. I mean, I mean, when I talk with them and they're like, no, we don't want the coach to stay anymore. He needs to
surprising.
go.
So the result doesn't matter to them.
Exactly that. He was just being lucky that look at it, kind of they are not getting to this part. Those were honorary football fans. I mean, people who drive taxis and all that.
Short,
yes.
When they got to the semi-final of the World Cup, Morocco were not playing explicitly interesting football.
That's exactly the point.
That so many EPL fans are accusing Arsenal of, and that was how Morocco got to the semi-final set pieces. They were very, very tight in their defense, and it was not exciting. I don't know why. So it's coming off as a surprise that they're not satisfied with the results that they are getting.
As in, I think it also has to do with a lot of they think he's overstayed his welcome. Just talking with them, ordinary Moroccans. Yeah, and I'm shocked. I really expressed the same shock you expressing, and they said no, he's not tactically worth. I mean, I'm really shocked. So again, there's also pressure, coming from, and then when you read Moroccan journalists, when they write, they also tend towards that path that, hey, look, Regragui hasn't done the best for them in recent times, and they need a fresh,
fresh energy, according to him, new vision
into the team. But I don't know how this. Just as Dipo said, I agree, but again, it's a thin line between getting it right and then, of course, because if this man has been there for over 5 years, and then you're changing him just at the eve of the World Cup.
3 months.
I don't know.
I mean, do you think they got excited by, obviously, the new coach who has been doing very well? Is that also something, maybe if he wasn't doing so well, they would have just seen him through? Because
for me, I think that, I respect Morocco's football administration. So they will not be careless. They may have done their due diligence. Yeah. And I mean, I'm also excited that I'm not bringing somebody from outside.
Yeah, it's
still one of my.
But I mean, they only have one. But they only have one camp between now and the World Cup.
Yeah, but preparations hasn't started yet.
And also, Debo, you don't forget that you mentioned that I think Morocco seems to have it going when it comes to their development from the top to the bottom.
Yeah,
it's something that I think will not be a problem.
But let's look out for Morocco. Let's watch out for the Atlas Lions.
I hope that they can be able to continue with the legacy that it's Africa's strongest side going into this World Cup.
You sure about that?
Arguably.
Is it by record?
I mean, maybe before Walid left, I would say they were.
Okay.
Getting to the AFCON semi-final, rather, and then the World Cup semi-final, for me, it's no small feat. They were the first country to actually qualify from Africa to the World Cup. Sure. It will be difficult for anybody to feel in his shoes what he has done, but whatever it's going to be, I hope that it don't risk stability just before the World Cup begins.
I'm looking forward to Senegal showing that they are the best team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Africa, in the continent.
Hope that
but are you impressed? Are you really impressed with Senegal? The kind of football that Senegal is playing right now?
No, I'm not. To be honest.
And even to rate their current players where they are right now in world football, are they exceptional players that right now we can bet our finger on and say, look,
it's a good argument you raised, but just yesterday I was listening to a show where they were talking about how Joao Pedro just seems to have just taken off under the new Chelsea coach, and they don't think he's going to start in Brazil. And Brazil is like the outlier in that they always have the best talent, but sometimes, or most times, I don't even think since the 2002 World Cup, they seem to disappoint.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of teams have taught us that it's not about having the best players. In fact, when Spain was sort of flogging everybody, they didn't have the best players. It does seem like they had the best system, and then obviously it looked like luck was on their side. I felt at that time the Netherlands had a much better side. The German team was much better than them. Obviously, the English team always seems to have the most talent, and they don't go through quarterfinals or so.
And just in addition to that, to just break away a bit from what we're talking about, is also Ghana. They're also not comfortable with their coach.
Yeah,
they really are saying that, look, this guy we don't understand is an academy coach. And that, so there's also a lot of issues around.
I've been scared too much with that thing.
Please don't take me back there.
And that. I mean, they are really calling, in their own case, they are really calling for, what's his name again? For the Ghana coach to
resign.
To resign, yeah.
Let's talk about
But
coaches still in Africa.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want us to dwell on this so much. Like Libyan coach Aliou Cissé saying he's been owed for 8 months.
Not surprising.
8 months. I mean, it's so if you notice, we've been talking about like what do you call it now? Local coaches, and it's something that we've been clamoring for. We love that. In fact, the last AFCON, all 4 coaches of the teams that went to the final of the AFCON, at least semi-final, were all home-based coaches, at least I would say local coaches that are from Africa, indigenous coaches. It's something that we respect a lot. But for you to have a coach that have won the AFCON, a coach that has pedigree, going to Libya. Yes, the FA was citing they had financial constraints whatsoever. Why are you hiring a coach that you cannot afford to pay?
Good question.
Bring you to the NFF and Eric Shell
yes.
with the how many $1,000 demand. Why are we doing that? Why can't we go for what is like living above your means? Can we have rules that can be able to, maybe from FIFA to make FAs comply with?
I don't think that can apply for Nigeria and certain countries because our boys will not respect our coaches. Let's call it spade a spade. I don't think I need to say more than that.
I'm sorry.
Imagine, and this is the guy that's coming to my mind because I'm wearing the Pillars jersey. Evans Ogunyi, who was sacked by Pillars and is now with Wiki. Imagine him talking to Osimhen.
Maybe not at that level.
Not at that level.
Yeah. Compare with maybe Finidi George, for instance. I don't know. I think that it's.
We've been.
Are you talking about local coaches in that right?
Local.
Okay, what about Sunday Olise?
Exactly. So
what about Sunday Olise?
Like ex-internationals that have.
We tried Sunday Olise, it didn't work.
Why didn't it work? It's not from the perspective you're taking it from. Exactly. It's not from the perspective the players are not going to respect him.
Now they will respect him.
Exactly.
No, now they will respect him as a person because of his accolades and who he is, his name.
Exactly.
But what has he done coaching-wise for them to respect him? Because that also it shows.
I disagree with you, Dikbo, because I mean, not just what he's done. Again, it's how you are perceived, how the boys, see you. I mean, look at Anslot, for example. He's not up to 45.
Yeah.
I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
Yes, he may have done his stuff, but I mean, some of those boys are getting. I mean, Musala is 33. The age gap is not as and all that. So if I come in with a large persona, my decorum, my personality is huge. Even though I'm local. They got to listen
but
to
Slot won the Eredivisie.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm just bringing the part of age, not the part of accolades. I mean, silverware.
I'm talking from a place of respect and your tactics, like your know-how.
Okay, what if they bring Emmanuel Amuneke to the club?
No.
I mean, to the Super. Would they respect him?
Why? Why should I? I'm speaking for me.
You're talking about the respect. You're talking about the knowledge.
Why wouldn't they respect him?
It's like a centre back pairing. It's 5 and 6. You can't play without one or the other. I must respect my coach, and my coach must have sense.
I'm sorry. I want to give you an example.
And the biggest problem that Africa has.
Too harsh.
No, the biggest problem that Africa has is that our coaching, just like our education, is terrible. We haven't had the CAF developmental coaching badges in Nigeria before last year for almost 10 years.
Whose fault?
Exactly. So now you want me now. I'm Dikbo.
Yes.
I've hustled my way through the grassroots, or I've hustled my way through NNL and MPFL. Maybe I am 35 or my passport says I'm 25, right? And I'm playing in Europe and I've seen the best of coaching. Then you want me to come listen to a Julius who has no experience, who cannot speak properly, who cannot communicate or respect people, right? And who is not a leader, and you think that I will be happy to play for him?
I'm sorry, I don't agree.
And let's not even get me started on Anslot, because I think that the Liverpool players won that league last season just based on the form they were on with Klopp and their system. He's shown me this season that he's not a good coach.
So it's not something that's limited. Taking back your word, it's not something that is limited to Africa, to Nigeria.
No.
And the respecting you are talking about.
Cream of this
But what you're saying
African
doesn't match up.
Below the foundation.
No, I disagree with you, Dikbo.
So
I disagree with you completely.
It's okay for players to disrespect coaches because
is that what you're saying? Is that what you're pushing?
The pedigree that they're supposed to have.
That's not what I'm pushing. That's our reality.
No, that's not our reality.
I'm sorry. I want to give an example, and I say very realistic. let's go basic.
Yes.
Shola Adigun, when he was appointed to Plateau United.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, okay. Okay, you plead the fifth. Because are you telling me he's not knowledgeable?
Fantastic.
Is he not a brilliant coach?
Fantastic.
Did the players respect him?
Answer.
No.
Answer.
I don't need him to answer. It's very obvious.
I don't know.
You don't know.
You don't- now you don't know.
No, now you don't know. Now you don't know.
Now you don't know.
Now you don't know.
I can't speak for that.
No,
No,
they are-
I
The
can't
players
speak for that.
disrespected him, and yes, our lack of education is
Yes.
also contributing to the fact that the
I've
players
said that
need to
over
understand
time,
that
yes.
he doesn't need to be
be
an
a-
NPFL hero to
For
be
you
a
to
great coach.
exactly. That's your coach. You
you
need
need
to
to
listen
respect
to
him.
him.
Now, are you guys speaking to the players now or to the system?
Everything.
Because the
Everything.
system is
You started the part of
You
the
said
players.
part of the players.
That the
That's what
players
we're
won't
saying, that
respect him and they were staying on that
because of
trajectory.
the
now, but
accolades.
let's stick to the
And
fact.
Sunday Olise
There's
example.
Exactly.
there's a reason why the players will not respect. This is where our system is.
No, I disagree. It's not
How?
just
No, let
about
him
the
explain.
where
Let
the
him
system
explain.
is.
Guys,
How?
you guys are speaking like well brought up people.
my
who,
goodness.
when you are in that system, I know you will respect. I'm speaking from a place of what our reality is. These players will not respect these people. We had Osime and was it
Finidi George.
Finidi? That's
No, I
case in
blame
point.
Finidi for that.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yes. No,
I
blame-
cannot. No.
I blame Finidi for that.
Because the way my mother raised me,
Yes.
regardless,
You
there's
still
a
respect
way.
your elders.
Exactly.
And as a
And
Yoruba
that's the
boy,
fact.
the
No,
respect
That's
is-
how I was raised.
What else?
Sorry,
what
do
I
you
meant
blame
by
Finidi?
that
No
is,
way.
Why do you blame Finidi?
why I blame him is the fact that I think that's what I'm talking about persona. That's what I'm talking. I mean,
think
it was the
it's
same
too-
Finidi we
you
saw
think it's too
going to
gentle?
ask for a player's shirt, right?
Well.
So I mean, if you
That's
put
really
yourself
debates.
out,
Well.
no. So if you
No,
put
I cannot
yourself
defend
out
Finidi
in
anymore.
that way, you put yourself out in that way. No player will
No, they
respect you.
especially players that are playing in Europe and
Exactly.
earning lots of
So
money
what-
way above your weight.
How did they see you? How do you talk? I mean, what's the level of? I mean,
And
this
Olise
guy-
is not that kind of
Are
person.
are you telling me that Finidi hasn't also won accolades in his playing days?
He has.
So what are we talking about?
Fantastic winger, by the way.
Okay, so let's bring it home because this conversation we're going to agree to disagree. But I'm also just reflecting on Finidi's days,
Yeah.
Omokachi's days, Ulise's days, the kind of clouds that even a JJ Okocha had and a Kanu Wanko at their prime. Ademola Lookman and Osimhen they've 10x or 100x that. There is a
That's
different kind of.
subjective.
Come on.
No, that's subjective.
Osimhen
Some people will
has
say the
Turkey on
paparazzi
lock.
that they have now.
Lookman had Italy on lock. Osimhen had Italy on lock.
That's
the
why I said
kind
this-
of this is the gravitas, their aura.
See, don't forget again that
And don't forget that football fans, even though our love is based on if you are giving me results, but as long as these guys have been doing this for the last
but
5 years,
there's a lot.
10 years.
There's a lot coming into the pot.
Yeah.
One, you have Gen Zs who are
Yes, so the
literally
digital-
the
yes,
digital. I mean, that's the point.
Paparazzi, it's just
These guys now, even the level of promotion, personal visibility, and all
Yes,
that in
it's
terms of
much
media,
more-
it's much more advanced and it's much more current
Yes.
or instant compared to when these guys play.
obviously we had a Nigerian player who was playing in the Eredivisie who was so good that a couple named their child after him. He's now a player now. I'm trying to what's his name? Is he not in the Premier League?
a Nigerian player.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's a Dutch player, but like there was this Nigerian star who was playing in Eredivisie, I think, with Ajax. What's his name? It was trending last year, and so the
can't
player,
remember.
the parents named the guy after
After
him.
him.
You know, so yeah, I mean, we've had.
And don't
those kind of
forget that the
things.
accessibility we even have in watching these guys
Now
currently
Yes,
at this
is much more
more
than
than-
before.
more. So those are
Exactly.
all the things that you need to factor in.
But let's also be very factual, right?
Yes.
The level of talent you have now is better than the level of talent we had before.
Yeah.
The goals that you're seeing
Sure.
now. So
Sure.
that also plays.
No,
but I mean,
I agree.
We would agree to disagree on what we have here. But I think that I personally think that everything in Africa, like I said in the last episode, everything is a reboot. Our type of leadership, our education system, and the system that we currently live in, we are now suffering the offshoot of it,
Yeah.
right? The chances that if you eat from like a dirty environment, that you have some level of sickness, right, is higher, right, than if you didn't. And that's what we are. We are very, very sick in Africa right now because our leaders I don't know how our leaders, no matter how powerful Jordan is, right? There's something about leadership. There's no justification. You've been there since 2013. He's been in this position since 2013. Like, why do you want to be? And it's the same problem that I have. As much as I respect Honorable Shoname, as much as I respect what Dr. Metsope has done with CAF, I don't see why billionaires and certain people should be in certain positions, because it just seems to have this image around. Because think about it, all of a sudden, Sundowns is like the hottest team in Africa. They have won the league, what is it, 5 years in a row or 8 years in a row or 7 or 9 years or something like that. It is.
Why?
It always seems to have a question mark.
No, even before Musepe came.
I'm sorry, when Man City won the league back to back for how many
they were
seasons?
fighting.
They
were
not
fighting
as
with Ajax Cape Town, Super
Yes.
Sport United,
Yes.
Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates,
yeah.
Bloemfontein Celtic, and Amazulu. Because I love football. So even when there was nothing, I always used to follow these things.
So
right?
what are you saying?
You're saying that it is bad
Because,
for the image of Africa or the league in
Yes,
the federation?
it's bad for anything. That's what you will never see these
That when you
Europeans
have,
do.
for instance, Remo Stars winning
Remo Stars,
back-to-back
yes.
league titles.
But
is
Remo
bad
Stars
for-
did not win
I'm
Remo
giving an
Stars.
example.
Yes.
If you had Remo Stars, who are how many years old now?
Yes.
He's not more than 10 years old, for
Yes.
instance. And they are winning back-to-back titles after all of the work that
Why are we being?
Shoname has done.
Don't-
I'm giving an
why
example.
are we being naive? Everybody's saying this thing. Everybody's saying that
You're saying it's bad?
because of what he was doing. That yes,
What was he
it is
doing?
wrong.
So has
giving
he
private jets,
Wait.
giving
Has he stopped
sponsorships.
doing that?
That's the
Has he
reason
stopped
why
doing
they
that?
won the
It
league.
looks like he has, because I mean,
It looks like, okay.
That's conversation for
it
another
looks
day.
like-
I'm sorry. I
When
don't want
last,
to drag
when
this.
last, when
I
last
don't want
did we
us to-
see?
I don't
But
want
that
us
is
to
it. My
drag
point is that
this.
that is the reality on ground.
I do not agree with you.
The Prime Minister Berlusconi, right, many years ago, understood that sports and politics has a thing. And don't ask me if that's what I'm doing, because certainly that's what I'm doing. Sports and politics has always been infused in the fiber of the people. He used AC Milan to win his election, not once, not twice, right? And at a certain time, what did he do? He had to step away. There's a standard that you have to maintain to say, oh, let's not taint the image of, is it possible that because this man is a billionaire, is an oga,
With the last-
his team, he's getting favorable treatment?
With the last example you cited,
Yes.
I'm glad this is inside African football.
Yeah.
So it's not just about Africa.
Yes.
So you have this happening elsewhere. So it's
But
not
these are
something that
things
is
that
localized
Premier
to
League,
the African
and that's why I
continent.
love, I love the Premier League. These are things you will never ever see.
Again, there are a lot of rots that we never get to see in the media.
Exactly.
Well, true.
Especially in the English media. They will
Exactly,
never want
they
to
will never.
paint it black. But let's move on from there. I hope that CAF would be able to, introduce financial compliance rules, because we're talking about Aliou Cissé and the Libyan Federation not paying him rather for about 8 months. If you can't pay a coach, don't hire him. But let's get down to business now. The NPFL.
How many NPFL teams are being owed salaries? Guys are not this year,
Let's look at Katsina United have
pinkish.
owed players' salaries for how long?
Shout out to Uche Collins,
Shout out
who
to
they say
Uche
is
Collins. I hope
AWOL.
that he's been found, because it's just for you to wake up in the morning, you just go on X and you just see that your highest goal scorer in the league is missing, gone AWOL, and then the
It's not
club is putting
news
out
that
a
Katsina has been
statement.
owing salaries for the last 2
Not
years.
news.
For different reasons. It's not about money. They call it technical glitches. Or you've got to do biometrics and be into the state government system.
Do you know what?
One day,
caught my
me and you are
fancy?
going to cause problem in this space where we need to talk about why state government should never own teams. We started talking about it because it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
You see, we have to do biometric capturing. You have to be in the system.
But again-
we can't pay salaries after a certain date.
But again,
For
Dipo,
technical-
the governance issue around management from the NPFL
yes. Yeah.
or LMC, whatever they call themselves, is also the fundamental issue.
I like that.
Where
And I'm going to take you
It's
back.
the
It's the
for
same
me.
reason why CAF and its members should not allow somebody who is so powerful like Motsubobi to be the president. It's the same reason.
Ha.
Exactly.
Uche Collins.
Let me
Uche
calm
Collins
down.
is missing.
Let me drink water.
Uche Collins is he was not
He's not
kidnapped.
missing. You and I know Uche Collins.
who declared him missing?
Exactly.
Katsina United declared him
The
AWOL.
The police haven't declared him missing, so he's not
Police
missing.
have it. According football missing. He has not been at the camp house. He has not gone for training since February. And the club is citing.
Did you reach out to Katsina? Are they owing him salary?
Okay, let's get there
That's
one
the only
step at a
comment on the
time.
matter.
So what caught my fancy was in the statement Katsina United release. It sounded like they were threatening Uche Collins. And if any club is found trying to sign him whatsoever, they will be
He
called
certainly cannot
liable.
sign in Nigeria.
No, aside that. And then is the fact that they are citing the fact that, he has a running contract until the end of next season. Which is surprising. I mean, lots of MPFL players we know don't really like signing contracts that are like 2 seasons.
But I know for a fact that that's a
beyond.
lie because I
course.
was involved
I don't think
in
that
his
Uche Collins
movements recently, and I was told that he was even on loan to the end of the season. So that was
So
a
it's
blatant
either
lie.
Uche Collins is running from the club and maybe it's either transfer issues, because lots of MPFL players have issues with club not wanting to let them go when they have contracts or approaches from clubs abroad, whether it is in Africa or Europe. And I think that might just be the situation with Uche Collins. But how can we avoid? This is just one of many. It's just that Uche Collins just decided to disappear on them, and it's now like hitting the limelight that he's been gone for almost a month now.
I think it's more of a protest rather than him missing. I think that's it. That's a protest.
Maybe he's sending a message.
Exactly, sending a very strong
promised
message.
me some things.
Yes,
you haven't
and you're not
given me. I just scored a hat trick
exactly.
to hell with you guys.
So the best way to do this is to also
See me on
I know.
It's Agba doings.
Agba doings. Well, let's get back to the NPFL and talk about the things that happened on the pitch. First of all, I am pained that Rangers beat Remo Stars.
Can you
really?
I am pained.
Disrespectful.
Really?
Can you not see the Jesse Amorim?
It is not. Hold on,
You
Musa.
start with the Kano Derby.
Oh, please. We did start with
I
Kano
warned
Derby.
you in the last
I have
episode
to-
that there
you
was no
warned.
way Remo was going to. I told you.
You told me, and I am pained.
Please, let's start with.
I hate to say that you were right.
Let's start with the Kano Derby.
No, we're not starting with the Kano Derby. Rangers,
Yeah.
just, let's start positively with Rangers because, they sent out
I'm
a
excited
statement
for
saying,
Rangers, yeah.
look, it looks like we are ready to win this league and whatever is going to take us. And I saw something interesting on, I think it's your friend on X when he made a comment after the full-time graphic of Remo Stars came up and he was like, you don't do him best friend Shege. Why you no go show you Shege on the pitch, He was like, I'm going to do something like revenge for my friend and what happened with how you let him go. But Remo Stars, it seems like there's no way out for them.
There's no way out, and I think
No
the owner of the
turning
club he has not given up. Let the worst happen. I think that's the approach now to Remo and all of that. And there seem not to be anywhere. I mean, they played Plateau United here. We saw them a couple of weeks ago, and one would have thought
No, you
that
mean
some-
Wiki
Wiki Tories.
Wiki tourists, sorry. And for them, I don't know what to say, but 4-1.
The
It's a
recruitment has been bad. I'm
huge,
saying
yeah.
it.
I
The
think
recruitment
United
has been
lost
bad. The defense
4-0.
has
First
been
half of the
terrible.
season.
Yes, I
To
know,
Niger
I
Tornadoes.
know, but
But that was that one I think was a fluke because we returned the favor this weekend. That one,
It was
that
not
one
really
seemed like a
complete
fluke.
return.
I wasn't so
3-0 was,
comfortable and so
exactly.
impressed with the way Plateau United played
This
on
weekend.
Sunday. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
get to
very
that, but I think we should.
interesting.
I want us to stay on Rangers.
Yes.
Because obviously I've said it here first that I think they are the favorites to win the title, but for what is the typical Nigerian politics, I think they have the best team. And I went back to look at the form table. So when the season started, T.A. Ilechukwu was Chan,
Yeah.
Yes.
and the rumors were they didn't recruit so well, or his imprint was not there because he wasn't around. He and Dan were in Chan with Eric Chell, and he came back, and then there were rumors, weren't sure what's going to happen. But over the last 20 games, I believe Rangers has been in top 2
Very
in the form league.
consistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And over the
Very
last 10 games, they are
consistent.
number 1.
Yeah.
So it's been clear that they are one of the best teams now.
But just to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Now, those wins, were they true wins? You know what I'm talking about?
Rangers plays very well.
So can we say,
Don't say yes too quickly, sir.
you know,
Let him finish the question.
because
When a man does this, when he's questioning you,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm a bit worried that if this is not wins that we can defend
Yeah.
on the continent,
Yeah.
then again, we shouldn't be celebrating. You're so excited about what you're doing in Enugu Rangers, but again, if it's something we cannot defend in 6 months' time, then we should come back to refer to this discussion and say, okay, look, still the same old. Yes. Recruitment is good for them and all that. But again, looking at the way they're playing, the squad and all of that,
The kind
I don't
of team that
know.
Rangers has is not the kind of team that can compete on the continent. It's
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
So
that is. I don't think that
better
is.
team,
I don't think that there is
not a
any
continental team.
Nigerian team that can compete on the continent. And
No, but she's saying that looking at where Rangers is at the moment, that they can.
Oh no, I'm saying they can't.
Oh, you're saying they can't?
No,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Rangers is the highest scoring team in the league with 36 goals. They also have the second best defense, with 21.
But when it's time to play the likes of ASFAR,
yeah, I think that, and we've heard Aliou talk about this in the past, that when it comes to the kind of funds that Enugu Rangers has to spend, it can be compared to the big boys like Enyimba, Bayelsa, Rivers, and the like. So I think he's done a decent job. I'm pretty excited for them. I think it's come with a lot of hard work. Obviously, they have one of the best general managers in the league. And when you look at everything that they've done,
he's the best.
He's the best, right?
Yeah.
They're the first Nigerian team in the league to be in Vareggio, if I'm not wrong. They're currently in Vareggio right now.
I'm sorry, what is Vareggio?
So Vareggio is the best under 18 competition in the world, where the best teams all over the world come together with their best players and they play each other, and their scouts are there to pick up, buy, and things like that. So obviously, Remo has been there. Beyond Limits has been there. They also go to Gothia, which Sporting and Beyond have won back-to-back years now.
Why is Plateau United doing any of this mixing?
I mean, I think that it's work in progress.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's work in progress.
Please finish your thoughts.
But yeah, I think Amobi is one of the best, administrators we have right now. There was rumors that he's obviously maybe stepping away. I don't know how true that is. Maybe he's going into the glass house or whatever. But I think Rangers has a good shout. And the conversation is they don't have as much money as other teams. And it usually seems like money wins our league.
Sadly.
Sadly. So if you look at the history. So, I mean, we'll
But
see.
you've not answered the question if they have clean.
No, I think they do. I think they do? I think they
don't.
I mean,
I'm going to
so
about
clean.
it
So
later.
clean is subjective, right? In Nigeria, it's just like when you say, did the governor win an election cleanly? Right? The governor may be a good person, but there may still be some things that happened.
But in
There were
football, we
rumors
should be
that in
able to
football,
establish that.
No, I don't agree.
When Rangers won
because
the league
we don't have
in 2022,
23,
23, there were rumors that they won it in the boardroom.
Yeah. But that's
And
typical of
that is safe to agree with, because Rangers were, I used to say this and I think I still stand by it, that they were the worst champions that we've produced in a long time.
Rangers.
At that season,
like
when they won the league.
They be like that, I don't lose one.
This team this season is a better team than the team that won the league 2 years back.
Gentlemen, I mean, you both of you have watched more games than myself in the NPFL.
This season.
Sincerely. Not minding where they are on the table. From their charisma to tactical approachability and, of course, technical prowess. Which team do you really think, given the right condition, the right system, will be the best team in the league this season to prosecute any continental?
I want to say, no. Given all the things he mentioned, right? Yes. Which team, if they have all of these?
Yes.
I'd say Shooting Stars and I want to say Plateau United. Given all this, if they get all this,
okay,
it's safe to say. Safe.
So because this is very instructive. It's
funny,
right?
I don't have any team.
You don't have any team.
No,
Come on. If you get all of these things, that's not fair.
No, I'm not a dishonest person.
Last on the episode, I think you missed. He was giving praises of Shooting Stars here.
Okay.
And he said Shooting Stars.
But I also said that they need to be consistent. They lost this weekend.
No, we're not surprised.
They must not win all the time.
They must not win all the time. They are the kings of inconsistencies this season. But when they are consistent, do they have a good team? Do they play interesting brand of football?
But they haven't been consistent.
To hell with the consistency. Do they have a good team?
That's
But
the
do you have
essence
a
of the
good team?
question.
No, I'm talking about the players. You were the one who said, and you convinced us that they actually play good football.
Just like I said, Wiki plays good football.
If they forget
Wiki is 15th.
Oh, please. I don't think Wiki,
That's-
since Mekaba left,
Yeah.
I want to
They
just
still-
stick with Shooting Stars, please. Let's not use two teams now. And with all the things he mentioned, they have the technical prowess, they have the whatever. But I'm not saying they have it now. If given that they have all of these things, which team do you think? And I say Shooting Stars, and you don't agree for your good football. Then we're going to question you saying that they play good football. Then I think that Shooting Stars is a very shitty team to you.
I think that I said that the Wiki plays good football, and I even said it was the best for me. I think
You said 3SE plays good football.
I didn't say they play the best.
No.
Exactly.
I wasn't here last week,
feel,
on the last episode.
I feel that this season, the team that has constantly played good football has been Wiki Tourist.
Okay.
That's what I feel. Right?
Fair enough.
Win or lose, they play the same kind of system. They're passing the ball from the back. There are movements in front. That's what I see. Now, the most consistent team this season has been Rangers, in my own opinion. And when you see their games, you watch the highlights, it's not also haram, it's not boring football, right? They're playing very good football. So if I wanted to answer the question just as a diplomat, I would say Rangers. But if you ask me as a person, I don't think any team. It's the reason why I don't trust that even next season we're going to have any team do well. I don't even know if anybody's going to progress into the group stage next season.
Let's move on from that. Ahmed Musa scored a decisive goal for Kano Pillars against Barao.
Shout out to my leader.
In the Kano State Derby, whatever I want to call it now.
Why are
Everything
you
is a derby in this
Why are you
country.
hating?
It's just annoying.
Shout out to Kano
Northern
Pillars.
derby, Southern
Kano
derby.
Pillars out of relegation places.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I have to
Can
say,
we say
from
that for
8th
sure?
position to 20th, they can relegate. Nothing is safe in this league.
but I mean, the
Kano
relegation is
Pillars
17th to
chill.
20th.
Kano Pillars should still
It
chill.
was a good win for them.
Remo Stars can still survive.
Well,
Exactly.
based on form, you don't expect Remo and Enyimba to survive. We're terrible for the three premier teams in the league to relegate.
It would be
Kano
terrible.
Pillars, Remo, and Enyimba.
Well, experience still matters in the NPFL. Shout out to Ahmed Musa.
Yeah,
And I
it
think
was a
he's
decisive goal.
When we're done, maybe he's going to stand up and take a picture with his number 7 at the back.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I think he got the man of the match too.
Yeah, of course.
Barra has been bullying everybody.
There's nothing else. Who would have got it? Was just
it
one
was,
new.
it was necessary. It was necessary for them to get the win.
I thought you were going to laugh at your foul.
No, I'm not bringing him up again.
Well, 50 goals for Emeka Obioma. Abia Warriors
Yes.
Shooting Stars 2-0. Shooting Stars did not get the result again.
Again,
on the
like
road.
I said, I spoke to Toby before the game, and he echoed the same frustrations, which is that he's waiting for his team to be a bit consistent. And I mentioned to him that if they didn't get something from Abia, their continental chances would be.
And that's
Would be
that.
almost-
But I
would be
say
less than
huge
ideal.
milestone for Emeka Obioma. It's not one to always. We don't really have so many legends celebrated in the NPFL, and it's good to have someone heading towards that trajectory. 50 goals is not beans. So yeah, shout out to Obioma.
Abia all of a sudden too has picked up because
They're still
a couple of
inconsistent.
yes,
I picked up is just in the last two
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, but I mean, we were saying a couple of weeks ago that they were in a bad place, and then all of a sudden, even Nasarawa, we were saying that they were in a bad place, and all of a sudden, they've picked up critical wins that has kept them in the top 4.
Yeah.
And I
He
think we
doesn't-
need to look out for these teams, especially as we inch towards the home stretch. And it's also our responsibility to call out the officials, right? That these are the critical moments now. A lot will play out.
Yeah.
Governors may make that call, right? They will make that call. We hope that call don't come through.
Shout out
But
to the NNL because you just raised a very important point.
Yes.
And Lagos State doesn't have any state-owned team, but I think Sanwo-Olu should make that call because this weekend is probably going to be the biggest game in the country.
Okay.
Like the
I'm
biggest
sorry.
game in the country this season between
Aqua
Aqua
United and Sporting Lagos. Oh,
Both of them play very good football. 2 very, very good young
top
coaches.
2 in their group.
And they're top 2 in their group. 1 point between them. And obviously, Sporting has the best away record. But we all know that Sporting Lagos is consistently being trampled upon because of the rumors of how they are very professionally run and they don't play politics.
And
But for
their
the last
fans
3
too.
years,
Been fast.
we can do a compilation
Mm.
of the way they've suffered in the hand of referees and linesmen. And I think Sanwo-Olu should
Then they'll
that
make
call.
them relegate too.
Yeah,
after the compilation.
No, but I think that's where the leaders need to get involved because it's politics, right? This is where Africa is.
But I thought that was what
kid
Remo
ourselves.
Stars did, and it was like
Remo did not recruit well. Remo's problem this season
we
has
have
nothing to do with
established that,
politics,
but of
in
course
my
there's the
opinion.
contribution
It's
of
secondary.
politics.
the politics involved.
No, secondary.
You're saying no to that?
Secondary, yes, because primary is where it's done. Secondary is they have table players. Let's call it speed a speed.
And then they compiled all of the moments I referenced.
That's just the it's like the icing on the cake, right? You can put icing on my cake and I can just move the icing and just focus on the cake.
Remo Stars had outstanding games and it didn't look like they would be in this conversation, but after that press conference,
It would be sad that Remo will relegate. It will be sad
I don't think so, Sha. They've been relegated 3 times in the last 10 years. So
let's move on. Plateau United 3-0 against Niger Tornadoes. You said they were not convincing, which I found very interesting.
I saw you at the game.
Yes, I was at the game.
You know, the media, the media goons.
I thought that game should have ended like 6-0.
Yeah.
Right. And then, irrespective of what you guys think, right? I think that there's a missing link between the defense and the attack. The flanks seem to be we seem to be doing so well. Isn't Vincent Mtokwe that's
shout out to
he's doing great. Those guys are doing great, but I still think that we're missing something. That is not making the team to just
we need
gel.
Saka back in the lineup.
Saka has been out
so
for
it was a little bit.
I think there's a disjoint.
Yeah, that's the word.
Strikers
Yes,
are
it's
not.
a bit. The game was a bit disjointed for me. I mean, they weren't compact. It wasn't a smooth flow. Yeah, the goals came. But again, you see some
And
certain
Niger Tornadoes
chances.
weren't great too.
Exactly.
I think that's where we need to focus on.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's fasting period, and there was the rumor of the fasting is affecting certain teams. But then obviously we counted the number of Christians in their team, and it looked like it was just almost 55-45. I think we saw like
for Niger Tornadoes.
Yes, 6 Muslims and 5 Christians. So I didn't think that was, but it looked like they didn't come to play. That's where I'm headed to.
Every team had Muslims.
What about Plateau United?
The Plateau had about 3 Muslims start the game.
Alves started the game and finished the game.
Mustafa,
he's fasting. And Mustafa was solid.
It's one
It
of
didn't even look like he was fasting.
So, but I just think that something just needs to be. I mean, the Oracle is doing his stuff, but I just think that we need to have a team that is more compact, and then they need to gel more. That's what I think. Especially,
I think the formation also matters to some extent, and I think I might be wrong with that. They play 4-4-2 at home, 4-4-3-3 away from home, and when I watch them away from home, they look more exciting. They look more of a team playing together than when they are playing a 4-4-2 formation.
We'll see what happens at Enyimba this weekend.
I think that it's just with 2 strikers and then you barely have your strikers scoring. They're in terrible positions. Alao Dabani missed 2 sitters in like a minute. Yes. Warri Wolves 2, Enyimba 1, and Talimi already said that Enyimba is going to relegate.
I mean, it's a very weird game because they scored 2 goals in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Give them obviously it's Nigeria League. So in Nigeria League, you say that they give a penalty because in the Premier League you say, Palmer won a penalty.
Yeah,
in Nigeria,
they say they gave because they actually give penalties in the Nigeria League.
2 goals in 1 minute for Warri Wolves, and they've had a terrible home form. It looked like Enyimba was going to pull out a draw there.
Unfortunately.
And Enyimba needed that game, really.
They needed the game.
Even if it was even a point.
And next game is against Plateau United at home, so that's like a pressure game.
Like I said to you guys last time, Plateau United was going to play 7 of the last 11 games, teams in the bottom 10, right? And then the other 4 were teams in the top 6. Enyimba is one of the teams in the bottom 10. And if they're going to show us that there's something, right, they will win their next 3 games.
Plateau United?
Yes.
Away or at home?
At home and away. Because you've got Enyimba away, you've got Bayelsa at home, and I believe we have Warri away.
You think they will be able to beat Enyimba, who is under pressure, and who also understand the politics?
Fans will be back in the stadium, by the way.
Yes, we discussed that. Enyimba's fans will be back for the first time in a couple of weeks at home. You would expect them to show up. I won't be surprised if the governor is there, Seth.
Oh, the atmosphere is going to be...
Yeah, I won't be surprised. But I think Enyimba is not a good team. Just like Remo, they didn't recruit well.
I agree.
Let's call it speed. Kanu Nwankwo is a legend. Kanu Nwankwo he's an inspiration. Like, I don't know about you guys. It wasn't just his play. His adverts made me as a young boy. You know, it was exciting. We would sing those songs, right? We had all sorts of nicknames when we play football. There was something we called Ogbono because of Kano, where
The
you know he's going to
celebrations too.
shoot, he's going to just drag the ball like Ogbono, right? But let's call it spade a spade. Kanu Nwankwo is one of the worst administrators that we've seen in the Nigerian league.
100%.
And
If not the worst.
I think I'm calling on my father and Oga Governor Oti to step in. The Enyimba is in a crisis. I'm going to try and get Oga Jude Ayondofo on this podcast in coming weeks. The right thing needs to be done.
The
You
former sporting
need to
director.
find, Jude Ayondofo and Dan Ayansi to come back and fix this thing and put the right people in place. Enyimba cannot be relegating. It's a horror story.
Sacrilege.
It's not like we're saying there's crisis where they say like it's administration, there's no
Yeah.
money, let's deduct points, and we're not paying salaries. This is one of the most well-funded clubs in the league.
It is.
And
Well,
supposedly
I hope that
most organized.
that OTC really steps in.
You
But
know.
then
as soon as
you
possible.
let the two guys go, hence the disorganization.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Warri Wolves though. They earned the victory and they need to
Debatable.
cement their status in the league because it would be terrible if they complete that wonderful stadium that is under construction and almost done and then they end up relegating. But of course, Ikorodu City lost in Lafia against Nasarawa United.
I don't want to talk about that game, Sha.
yeah, we
Like
were not expecting
I told you
anything
guys
else.
what was going to happen exactly now.
Bendel lost to
Typical.
Rivers.
That's the one that I don't. That one, like we were hoping that Bendel was going to show up and show out.
But they did not.
But since our last episode, Rivers went ahead to score 6 goals in 2 games. Rivers United
Correct,
had
yeah.
not scored 3 goals in almost 2 years.
Yes.
And now they
did
scored
that
3
again.
goals in
Bendel
back-to-back
beat
games.
Ikorodu City 4-0. Football is crazy.
Nigerian football is crazy, right?
Yeah. No, football everywhere is crazy.
But yeah, Rivers United goes to shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooting has the last opportunity to show me that they have something by whooping Rivers United's ass this weekend.
Nasarawa
this
goes
midweek.
to Remo. I think they are playing their last game in Akure against Nasarawa.
No,
before they go back
Remo
to
is
Ikene.
back in Ikene.
They're back in Ikene.
Yeah, they beat,
Oh,
that's why
so
they beat
fast.
Katsina.
They're back in Ikene this weekend.
Shout out to Kwara United who went to Katsina and defeated Kwara. Part
Yeah,
of why
we
Katsina is
Katsina.
vexing is that they don't get their
Yes,
striker.
yes.
Kwara go beat them for their house. And
Kwara
Kwara is making
United.
noise that they're not really
Uche could have
relegated.
scored maybe if he was on the pitch for
Nah.
them. But of course, we look forward to match day 30 in the league. Interesting games ahead. Bendel against Kun Khalifa, Barao and Abia Warriors, Ikorodu City and Rivers United.
Is Barao at home?
Barao is going to be at home.
Shout out to Abia Warriors there. Do it for me again. 1-0.
That
That'd
would
be
go hard,
tough.
Sha.
That'll be tough.
Could decide a lot of things, but that would be tough.
Kun Khalifa at Bendel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for a draw.
Enyimba Plateau United. Inaba with fans.
Enyimba to lose 2-0.
Plateau to draw Enyimba, most likely.
Yeah. Period.
Wow, but those fans are coming back. Oh, shit, we no go change that
Enyimba's
prediction.
problem is a lot of the structural tactics,
Yeah.
everything on the pitch.
Who is
There's
even
a
coaching Enyimba
possibility.
now? Well, who was on the bench this weekend?
Who was on the
I
bench?
didn't know. Yeah,
You can't even
Can't
keep
remember.
up.
can't keep up.
Remo Nasarawa United.
No, Remo win. I don't know. I feel like
That's why he's third on the log now.
I mean, but Remo Stars are also desperate. They must win to survive. Their last home game against Katsina 2-0, it was convincing. We think that they can step up again like that.
It's hard to
Against
beat them in
Nasarawa.
Ekene.
Yeah, it is.
No
it
matter
is.
what we are going through, it's going to be very hard to cheat them in
We hope
Ekene.
that the referees would step up. El Kanemi Warriors Katsina
2 terrible teams.
in Maiduguri.
Two very terrible teams. But Katsina lost at home this weekend, so they'll be going out. It'll be difficult for Kanem. I think it'll be a draw.
A draw.
Niger Tornadoes Canopilas.
Canopilas. Tornadoes was too bad. I don't care about the home and away thing in this
Everybody's
Nigerian
asking
league.
this time around. But
Tornadoes
we'll
was so
see.
bad on Sunday.
They have a terrible
Yeah, but they'll be
pitch.
playing back at home now.
Yes.
Canopilas to win.
You know what happened to the team when they
It could be a draw,
Yeah.
but
Mina.
there's nothing that
I don't
it
know
was
if
I
it's
too
think-
bad.
I think a draw will suffice for that game.
Kwara
don't see
United
Kano-
versus Enugu Rangers
Rangers to win.
in
Rangers to
Abeokuta,
win, too.
neutral ground. I
Rangers
think
to
Rangers is going to
win.
win.
Yeah.
Then Shooting Stars, Wiki Tourist.
Shooting has back-to-back home games, but they're playing midweek. No, shooting will put it out. You see that stadium rocks when they're at home. That's why they haven't had too much problem. I think Plateau United is the only team that took them to the brink where we nearly snatched a draw,
Yeah.
and then we lost concentration and we lost wisdom undone in the
Let's lost
85th
concentration
minute.
like
And
16 times this season.
yeah,
But while some football administrators busy
How
fighting.
about Bayelsa United Warri Wolves?
Yeah, I think he mentioned that.
No, I didn't do.
Warri Wolves.
Yeah,
Bayelsa needs that win. Gee.
I
Bayelsa is
don't,
that's
I
the
don't
Southern
care how
Derby,
that.
yeah?
Yes, it is.
almost 3
Celta
Southern teams
Bayelsa.
can relegate this season, and that's going to be very bad in
Very
trying to
bad.
balance.
Usually, it's the northern teams that are always bad in every season, and you'd have out of 4, you'd
Our
have
league
2,
is in a
3
bad
from the
place.
That's why I
north
said
relegated.
earlier that let's look out for the next 8 weeks.
Well, shout out
It's
to
going to be
the
very-
NPFL chairman who was on a show last week, and he talked about how in his administration the league has started on time and ended on time, and there have been more away wins in his administration than ever. And then obviously
Also,
we
the
now
small
have
peanuts that they give to clubs.
yes.
Even though I
In
like
fact,
that he
they've
admitted
increased
that
from
it's
50 to
nothing,
150,
but
100 to
it's
150 to
something.
200. Then he also talked about obviously now that there are more games on free to air. They are hoping to come back on DSTV very soon, Super Sport, right? But the last thing that he said that was pretty, interesting to me, is that he felt that we were in a better place as a league. That one I don't agree with.
I don't.
It's not about the AGM being on time.
Yes,
It's about the decisions you make.
Yeah.
All those other
It's
things I
also
mentioned
about
are
the
good.
quality
Yeah,
of the league,
the quality is our
comparatively.
quality is
If you
not
say the
in a
league
good
is
place.
at a better place, what?
No, no, no,
I mean,
no,
what's
no,
what's
no, no,
yeah? What's the reflection of your team on
He
the
may
continent?
think that we're in a bad place, but
Yeah.
no. There are certain critical things that he needs to look into. And I've given you guys
No, I
the
give it to
advice.
him that number
Yes.
one, the league started on time.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew when the league was going to start, where it's going to end.
Yeah.
He's also told us when it's going to start. He wanted to maintain it August to May in that
Yes.
particular appearance he made.
Except the FA
Another
Cup.
part I'm not too comfortable with what he said was the television part of it. He said they were going to introduce VR and all that. They are considering all of that. But for me, if you look at where we are right now, in terms of now, also he also said something about live matches, radio, and all of
6
that.
live matches now.
We've not concentrated that.
Yeah.
I mean, where are those matches? How much are they advertised?
I'm going to call your association now, Doga Omale.
Yes.
Who's responsible for training better journalists and commentators? Because
That's
as much
a
as
huge one.
Do you have a body for that?
Is
No,
it
we
the
don't have a body for
NUG?
it. No.
It's supposed to be the league.
No, it's supposed to be the league. I mean, they
Oh,
should
not
be
the
able to
NUG.
organize training
Because
for it.
shout out to Propel for their 6 live games every weekend. But the commentary is abysmal.
Yeah, very, very.
The questions, the post-game questions, it irritates me. It's like the journalists themselves are not even watching the games, and they don't even know what is going on.
So those are all part of, there's, as we sit now and as we speak, do we have a production arm for the NPFL?
No.
Do you have a production company who
We
is
almost had
producing
something
the
that
league?
could have been consistent when shout out to Elegbete TV when he ran something for a season and did it with a very tiny crew, and Victor Modu was part of it as well. He's a wonderful videographer, but unfortunately the NPFL wanted to do business elsewhere, and when you get the right people who understand the business, and
hopefully
So
as Malam Diko is now the
that's-
NSC chairman,
that's a key
we would
part
hope
of
that
that.
some of these things would change.
So those are some very tiny details they need to look
that
out
we need
for.
to look out for.
Even for radio, for instance. I mean, I'm a radio person also. I'm thinking that, find a way of even getting the buy-in of even states.
And that's the bare minimum.
Exactly.
I
States
don't
where
want
they
us to
have these
just-
clubs.
That's
You
the bare
have several
minimum.
radio stations in those states.
compel-
and then
yeah.
in Plateau, for example, where we domicile, no radio station. Maybe one a bit, but no radio station consistently run commentary or take these matches live. Now you have all things about contractual, whatever, and all that. I know that they are doing some things with the Radio Nigeria, FRCN.
Yeah.
But again, you need to
Even the
Quality.
quality.
domesticate.
Quality.
Yeah, the quality is. So why don't you? And again, also the clubs themselves need to also get. And that's one thing that I fought most of the clubs for. Get into an arrangement with the NPFL and then identify a club-friendly, sport-loving radio station and get into some agreement with. And I want to put this out to Plateau United. Identify a radio station and then get into some agreement with them.
Yeah.
And
let them
put your team,
live.
your games live on the radio
commentary.
station.
Yeah, so no matter where we are, we can
Exactly.
listen and we can just get a feel of
Well,
what's
that will
going
have
on.
to still come from
Villa
the
used
top
to.
of the NPFL because
Yes.
of some rights.
No, I know. That's why I
whatsoever.
said,
So
you
we need
know,
to fix the problem
yeah.
from the top and then bottom. I'm sorry, I don't want us to continue this conversation
No,
because we don't have time.
I remember the NFF matter that was trending 2 days ago about the FA Cup. And I'm like, we haven't actually talked about
Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting into anyway. The FA Cup is supposed to start in March, state preliminaries, by the way, and in April 26th. That means we don't know when the National FA Cup is going to begin. We'll get to talk about that on our next episode. I'm sure that Danny had not started, so we'll have time to discuss that as well as other issues. CAF has increased the prize money for the Champions League and the Confederations Cup.
$6 million.
The quarterfinals will be this weekend. If you did not follow episode 2 of Inside Africa Football, that's where we had the previews of the quarterfinals fixtures. So make sure you go back and watch, listen, like, subscribe, and drop your comments as well.
Melody Sundown start Malian.
We look forward to what the next episode will be and all of the drama that will unfold in Africa. But we have to go now. And shout out to Samson. I hope he's going to be around next week.
I hope so.
So we can, have proper conversation about the
Guys,
FA
leave your
Cup in
comments
Nigeria
on who won the debates today.
And I'm wearing a
Deeper for
Sporting
the-
Lagos jersey because that was the only club that properly celebrated the Women's Day. And shout out to Norma, the operations manager of Sporting Lagos, and what she does behind the scene for the club. A beautiful video that Sporting Lagos dropped. So thank you. Because I'm a woman, I actually reflected with that. So I appreciate
That's cool.
the love from Sporting Lagos. So yeah,
That's good.
I wish them good luck this weekend. I'm not saying that in all respects I would like Paul or Four and Aqua United.
Shout out to
but
the NNL,
I wish
the
them
best
good luck
league.
in
The best league
in their
in
fixture
Nigeria.
this weekend. So yeah, have to say bye. And if you're a woman, this is your Happy International Women's Day coming from us from Inside Africa
We
Football.
love you. You're
We
our
love you.
heroes.
Bye-bye.
You're our heroes. Bye.